The cost of living in America is still out of hand. Let's talk about it.
Can someone tell me why LA is so fucking out of touch? My boyfriend and I are trying to move. Our cap is $5,000, which is basically a mortgage payment. I don't even know if I want to own a home. I would just like a little bit extra room. If we find something that we like, it's in a really shitty part of the neighborhood, or if we do find something that we're like, oh, okay, this is in our price range, which, by the way, $5,000 is a lot of money to pay to rent something that you don't even own. And then we find something and then it doesn't have a yard for my dog, or it doesn't have a garage. And it's like, these are like, everybody should have a yard. Everybody should have a garage. And you want me to pay $6,500 for something that doesn't have black mold in it? I mean, LA is just like, I don't even know how people live here. It's insane how expensive everything is.
Yo, you cannot pay me to live in California right now. The way, one, that state is ran, but also the cost of living out there. Like, any of my Californians that are watching me right now, I feel for you guys, because I see videos like this all the time. I know people that live out in California, and they tell me it is a complete shit show right now. From the cost of living continuing to increase and literally pricing everyone out of being able to live a normal life out there, but also because of the homeless population and how everyone literally cannot afford to live, so more people are showing up on the streets. The drug problems out there. I mean, California is an absolute beautiful state, but the way it is run is, I mean, and then the problem with that is you're getting a lot of these successful individuals who are leaving California simply because of the regulation, the high taxes, and again, how the state is run politically. Look at all the major corporations that are pulling out of California. Like, if the proof isn't in the pudding that you're doing something wrong when you're running a state, like, I don't know how more obvious it can get than that. But then the cost of living to live in California, thank God I live in the Midwest. All right, so I want to take us back a little bit. I want to take us back to the good days. Now, this time was a little bit before me. I'm a 90s baby, born in 1991. But let's take a look at what some of the prices and cost of living was like back in the 80s. 80s and 90s was just amazing generations. So much fun. It was the last time you could truly be a kid before you got hit with screens and internet and social media and all this other bullcrap we live through now in our everyday lives. $2.55. That doesn't even get you fries now. Ah, the good times. Yo, could you imagine buying a house for $82,000 and it being an actual livable home that you can raise a family in? Sounds pretty nice. Now, I want to do something that I have not done yet on the channel, and I want to read some of your all's comments from a previous cost of living type, everything's getting expensive videos that I do here on the channel when I make these reaction videos. So this is from one of my recent videos titled "People Still Cannot Afford to Live." And these comments up here, this top one says, "I don't want to hear it from people who are clearly making sure to still buy expensive makeup and get their hair and nails done." Yeah, I agree 100%. Like, some of these people we see in here that they say, "I can't afford to feed my kids and I can't afford to put food on the table," yet their eyebrows are done, they got fake eyelashes, nails are done, expensive contour makeup or whatever the hell you call it, hair did, like nice clothes, nice apartment. I'll say this, people definitely probably are struggling, but they could be living a lot simpler life than they probably are right now. Next one says, "It doesn't make sense. They destroy the country with lockdowns for a virus we now have to live with anyway. So now people are poor, eating less healthy, working more, stressed more, and so are weakened against the COVID virus. Was it not better to just not delay the spread of the virus? Delaying didn't achieve much in the end anyway. COVID definitely rocked our world. Like, let's be honest about that. The COVID virus, and I will say, I remember whenever it first started, it was in March of 2020, and my daughter was actually scheduled to be born the week that COVID hit United States. I remember everyone was started freaking out. The whole world was shutting down. We went to the hospital not knowing if I could even stay there. COVID was definitely scary once it got started, but as time progressed and the more regulations came out and the more we found out about the virus, stuff could have been handled very differently. I mean, the fact that people were losing their jobs because they were choosing not to get vaccinated still blows my mind to this day. I mean, now the proof's in the pudding and stuff starting to come out about that, but to see how all that was handled was a disgrace. It really was. Absolutely just insane.
I live and work in Spain, making roughly €1,000 a month, which
So my friend sent me this and was asking me if it's true because I'm also living in Spain currently, and it's 100% true. So much to the point that I'm going to break down all of my costs a month to show you how absolutely ridiculously livable it is. Rent, €325. Utilities, €30. Food for 1 month, €150. And I kind of spend a lot on food compared to my friends, so that's saying something. Phone bill plus Wi-Fi, €27 a month. Gym, €30 a month. One singular bus ride is 40 cents. I also get breakfast out every single day, and it's literally affordable to do that. I get like a sandwich with tomato and tuna. Don't knock it until you try it. It's really good. And then I get a cafe con leche, which is practically like a latte. Every morning, the total is $3.30. $3.30. You can't even get a coffee. You can't even get half a coffee for that in the United States. I'm in Granada, and a glass of wine is costing me like €3. And the thing about Granada is you get a tapa with it for free. So what my friends and I will do whenever we want to go out is we'll get 3 glasses of wine, and that comes with 3 tapas, which pretty much is dinner. And then you're literally spending €9 on 3 drinks and dinner. And the wine doesn't make you as hungover because it doesn't have all these additives that the United States has. I also only work 14 hours a week. Yeah. No, that's not normal to Spain. It's just like with the program I'm with. I'm walking everywhere. Like, it's always sunny outside. Not to mention everyone's literally so friendly. The party life is so much better. Not to mention they got siestas. Come on. Like, the best way I would describe living in this country is you feel like a human being. Everything shuts from 2 to 5, 5:30-ish every single day, so everyone can go home and relax, eat a meal, take a nap. Most things are shut on Sundays, so you always have that day off to just rest. There's fruterias on every single corner where you're getting, like, I literally get all my fruits and vegetables for the whole week for like €6 from the fruteria, and they're like amazing quality. I cannot stress enough, if you have the opportunity to come to Spain and just experience life here, whether it's just like short-term, long-term, do it, because it will change your life and your perspective.
Barcelona is calling my name. So I've never traveled to Europe, but it is on my family's bucket list to make it over there. And Barcelona is definitely one of the cities I really want to check out when we finally make it across the pond. Now, with that, I don't know how accurate those prices are, but with her living in Spain, it sounds like she knows what she's talking about. I cannot imagine every single morning buying something to eat and a coffee for $3. Like she said, you can't even buy 1 coffee for that here. And I'm a pretty simple coffee drinker. I'm an Americano with an extra shot iced. It's still $5 for that freaking coffee. Now, as an American, I will say this. I hate how increasingly it's getting to not be proud to be an American anymore. I don't know where that started falling off, but I do feel like America is not nearly as patriotic as we used to be. And, I'll be honest with you guys, I kind of get it. I feel like the everyday American citizen is feeling a little bit left behind. And I think a lot of that stems from how things are being operated, our healthcare system, the price to live, the cost of living, which is what this entire video is about. And a lot of that drives from or stems from the way our government is handling our economy, our finances, our national debt, printing of loads of money that they have no idea how to manage money properly. I mean, it's ridiculous. It really is. The corruption in the government, the billions of dollars being sent over to different countries when we have mass chaos and a lot of other things that need to be resolved here in our own country, but yet we're sending billions of dollars over to other countries? I don't get it. I don't. And this is for both sides of our government. Republican, Democrat, I don't care if you're right or left or in the middle. There is a serious issue right now in our country, and I think it's going to be a long time before we gain that patriotism back. I really do think something catastrophic is going to happen to kind of bring us all back together. There are some major changes that have to happen, and how it feels to be the newer generation of American citizens and not being able to live the American dream because everything's sky high and expensive. I mean, I kind of get it. But I also am a big believer of like, pick yourself up by the bootstraps. And a lot of people do not like when I say that. But I mean, I kind of got to say, like, tough shit. Like, if you want to get ahead in America, like, there's immigrants coming over that are kicking ass because they come over the correct way. They take risk. They work their asses off. And they pull themselves up by their bootstraps and they figure it out. But I do think we could do a hell of a lot better as a country. But it starts at the top.
Don't you love when you live paycheck to paycheck and then you go to the dentist and find out that you have $5,500 worth of dental work to get done? And they're like, yeah, you could do a payment plan, $450 a month for a year, and you have bad credit and you don't qualify for credit. So you either have to pay out of pocket $5,500 with including insurance, it's $5,500, or your teeth rot out of your face. Because that's where I'm at. I'm at the point where I have to pay $5,500 to fix my painful teeth, and I don't have money. So that's my life right now. And if you're going to tell me to budget or fucking manage my money better, I pay my motherfucking bills, and then this shit happens. Then the dentist tells me I have to pay $5,000. Like, bro, don't get me started with this shit. Don't tell me I don't shop at the right fucking stores. I don't price match. I don't use coupons. Fuck you, okay? I pay my bills, okay? I pay my bills paycheck to motherfucking paycheck, and now I have $5,500 of dental bills. This shit doesn't get any better. I swear to God, my life is just getting worse every single day.
Okay. I felt attacked on that video. But first, I'll say this. The American healthcare system is complete dog shit. Like, it is. It's complete dog shit. It needs a complete reprogramming of how everything is operated. I'm also in the boat right now of trying to schedule a dentist appointment, but I do not have dental insurance. I have a discount plan through Medishare, who I use for my health insurance, and it's supposed to discount your dental work anytime you have something happen. But here's the problem. First, I started calling because I didn't realize I had this discount plan with Medishare, and I was just asking what they pay, out of pocket. I'm getting quoted $400 to $450, guys, for a cleaning and x-rays. For just a checkup to clean my teeth and a new set of x-rays. $450 effing dollars. And I'm asking, like, guys, like, I got pissed off because I called like 6 dentist offices. Like, are you guys out of your mind? Like $450 to like pluck my teeth clean and take a couple pictures? And then I'd ask them, I'm like, okay, well, I don't want x-rays. I just literally want to come in and get my teeth cleaned professionally. And they're like, oh, sorry, you can't do that. You have to take your x-rays too. We won't clean it unless we do that. I'm like, what? Like, I can't have an a la carte option of like, yeah, I just want a cleaning. I don't need my x-rays. Like, oh, the healthcare system is a joke, guys. It's a complete joke. In insurance, I have a whole video set coming out for this. Insurance is an effing scam. It is. It is such bullshit. The hoops you have to jump through to, 1, get insurance, 2, go make a doctor's visit, and you're 6 months out from a doctor's visit to get into any doctor. And then it costs you an arm and leg if you have any sort of work that has to get done whatsoever. My poor wife, like, she has a hernia that doesn't bother her, and we've been kind of putting off because it's going to cost us an arm and a leg to get this fixed, but she needs to get it fixed, and we have to schedule it. We've just been kind of pushing it off because we know how much it's literally going to cost us. The American health system needs to be... So here's my thing. I think we should go back to... I'm getting kind of a little off topic here, but I think insurance And our healthcare should be all market driven. Let the market decide. Let us people, everyday Americans, the market, be able to shop for what we want and for insurance. It needs to be a 100% market-based insurance program, so where the market ourselves can choose how we want to shop, as well as the medical system. We can choose, we want to go to this doctor because they offer a cheaper health plan and their services are cheaper, they're good quality, it's a nice office, but it's relatively affordable. Well, if that starts happening, all these other doctors and everything's just charging the insurance whatever they want because it's complete dog shit. When I try to call and say, what's this going to cost me? They can't tell me because it has to run through insurance. And I was like, well, what if I don't have insurance? Well, sorry, I don't know what's going to cost you. Like, this is really one thing that bugs me because I am self-employed currently, and it's really hard I choose to go a very cheap option to keep my everyday monthly expenses down in insurance because we are a relatively healthy family. But whenever something major does come up, it costs us an arm and a leg, and it sucks. But even if you have good insurance, sometimes shit's still super expensive, sky high. Look, I mean, $5,500 this girl said she was going to pay. But then she mentioned, she's like, F you guys saying budget and go spend differently. The only thing I will say to that is, like, you got to have an emergency fund. And my wife and I have an emergency fund set in place. If something like that does happen, we can't afford to be able to pay a major medical expense because we've planned accordingly. When you plan accordingly, you can be able to afford those types of expenses, like a $5,500 dentist bill. Now, does it suck? Obviously, yes. But you have to be prepared for those things in life. It's called adulting. I mean, there's no other way to explain it. You have to have cash sitting on the side for whenever an unexpected expense arises. Plain and simple. You cannot fight that logic.
I'm literally broke. I don't have no money saved in my bank account. I'm young and I cannot buy a house because I don't make enough money. I don't make enough money to buy a house. And I'm super broke. I don't have no money saved and I work paycheck to paycheck to pay my rent. This is what people are saying on the internet, okay? They're talking about how they don't have no money. Like it's so many young people who don't have no money. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's because we're overspending on other things. We're overspending, we're overdoing it. A lot of us is going out on trips, buying a lot of food, eating takeout all the time, paying for things that we should not be paying for, doing too much all the time. Like, what happened to us, like, treating ourselves every blue moon? Like, treating ourselves has become a thing every single day. Every single day, young people are wanting to treat themselves with something. And that's the problem. We're overspending, boo. You're overspending. That's what it is. A lot of times, it's not people's rent. We're overspending. We're seeing the amount, we're paying the bills, and then we're like, oh, this leftover money, I could use it for something instead of saving. I seen this video. This girl was talking about how she don't have no money saved in her bank account but some change. And she showed her bank account. And then she has a credit card, $5,000 in debt off of a credit card. I don't even know how is that possible. Like, and she was young. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I hate credit cards. I hate it because it's a setup, and you would never see me get no credit card, put no money. No, I already got to pay school loans. I already got to pay them back. I'm not getting no more credit, nothing. Like, I'm not playing these games with the government. Like, a lot of us young people, we use too much money. We look at leftover money and we think it's free, and it's not. It should be saved for a rainy day. It should be saved for emergencies. That's the problem. That's why we can't afford nothing. That's why we can't afford assets, and we only can afford a car payment and a house and the bills that come with the house, because we're not saving our money. We're not investing in anything. A car is not an asset. I don't know who is saying that on the internet, but that is nothing. When you have a car and it's new and you paid it off, it's still not an asset, honey. A house is an asset, okay? But yeah, it's too much shopping going around with the millennials and the Gen Z. That's the problem with us.
Preach it, queen. Yo, I don't think I've watched a more accurate video on this channel than Homegirl right here. She was straight spitting facts. I have nothing to say to that. Every single thing she said was spot on. Props to Lainey Love too. If you happen to see this, my girl, keep killing it.
My mortgage went up $1,000 and I am not okay. So let me tell you guys, for the longest time, people be screaming from the hilltop, home ownership is not it. Like, don't rush, don't rush. And I will just be like, I don't understand it because I'm literally chilling. Like, cheaper than rent. I was bamboozled. So, let me tell y'all what they do not tell y'all about real estate. So, they do an analysis every year from, at least with the mortgage that I got, right? And so they did an analysis, and basically my mortgage increased by $1,000. And I asked them why. And they were like, something about, my house is a new build. And so I guess they charged me for the taxes when it was just the land for 2 years. Then after year 2, they add the taxes with the house actually on it. And they were like, yeah, your builder is supposed to tell you. They didn't. They didn't. And so I asked them, can I sell the house? And they were like, there's no equity in it. You guys see me smiling, but come next month, I'm literally going to be in tears because $1,000 extra a month, I legit want to move back home and live with my parents. But I don't have that option. I'm sick. Like, I'm sick. Honestly, don't buy a house if you're single. Like, buy a house when there's 2 incomes coming in because, baby, you gonna need it.
Okay, so that's a bit on the extreme side of things. And what it sounds like happened is she wasn't sure exactly what she was getting into when she signed her contract. Now, see, whenever I make any sort of big purchase like this, I make sure I'm dotting my I's, I'm crossing my T's, I'm reading every single piece of paper. If I don't understand something that's worded a bit differently, I contact multiple different sources. I look it up online, I watch YouTube videos, and I teach myself and make sure I understand what I'm getting into before I sign anything. And I feel like a lot of people these days, when they're getting into cars or, borrowing money with high interest rates, getting credit cards, they're just signing the line and be like, we'll figure it out as we go. You cannot do that. You cannot make major financial decisions by not truly understanding what you're getting into. And you cannot rely on someone who's selling you something to tell you the truth. And I hate that you have to say that nowadays, but you have to look out for yourself. You have to check your contracts. You have to read everything you're looking into when you're going to buy a house. I'm sorry to say it, but when you get in a predicament like this and you're, paying taxes on whatever the land was, well, now you're paying what was actually supposed to happen. So although, yes, a bit extreme increase, $1,000 a month, but if it was truly the reasoning she said was because she was paying taxes on just the land before, and then the housing taxes was going to be included 2 years down the road, that's easily something that should have been stated in the contract. Like, that's the stuff that you need to realize and look into. But that's also the problem with first-time home buyers is they simply just don't know what they're getting into sometimes when they purchase a house. A lot of people will say, oh, yeah, buy a house. And I am a big believer in buying a house, but I'm also a believer in not buying a house until your finances are set up correctly, because I'll tell you this. Owning a house is very expensive. When you're renting, yes, you got to rent, and the rent's going towards the landlord's mortgage, and you're not getting anything in return except you are, though. You're getting a place to live, flexibility, not having to pay for maintenance. Like, you do get benefits from renting. There are benefits. The problem is, though, is when you get into the house, you got to pay taxes on the house. You got to pay insurance on the house. You got to pay utilities for the house. Oh, you got to fix the AC unit when it breaks. Oh, you have hail damage. You got to go through insurance and get that figured out, and hopefully insurance covers you for that damage. You got to watch your crawl space or basement. If water starts coming in through your basement, you got to figure out a way to fix it. If you have major settlement problems in your house, you got to figure out a way to fix it. You have mold coming in somewhere in your house, you got to figure out the scenario where that mold's coming from and fix it. Like, there's a lot to be a homeowner. Now, I love it. I love owning a home, and I'll never probably rent again a day in my life, but that's because I also understand what being a homeowner truly is. And I think a lot of first-time homeowners get excited to purchase a home, but once they get into it, they realize, oh shit, now I got to not only fix everything, I got to buy furniture. You got to decorate the place. I mean, my wife and I have lived in here since June, and we still haven't decorated our house yet because we're slowly just working at it. Like, we're not in a rush. We're really not. And we are more worried about putting money away in retirement and investments every single month than buying the next latest fashion of decoration that's going to go on our walls. And don't get me wrong, we'll decorate, but we're taking our time. And that's what's most important, guys. It really comes down to being responsible. That's what all this, like, now, don't get me wrong, like, times are tough, times are expensive, like, it does suck out there. But if you plan accordingly, if you become a responsible adult, you manage your money correctly, and try to increase your income over time by taking on side hustles, working another job, moving somewhere more affordable. People hate when I say that, but I'll stand by that till the day I die. Move somewhere cheaper. Yes, uprooting your life sucks, but if you can't afford it, what are you going to do? Are you going to live on the street and stay where you're at because you don't want to move somewhere else? So tough decisions will have to be made. A lot of life decisions will have to be made in our generation and Gen Z generation for the time being, because we were kind of dealt a shitty hand right now with how expensive cost of living is. But, I mean, this goes back in history. I'm a big history buff. I love reading history books, and I see this all the time. People making major life changes because where they were currently living at wasn't working for them, or they wanted to move somewhere for opportunity. Sometimes you just gotta close your eyes, cross your fingers, make a big leap in life, and hope for the best.